Hey guys, today on Crabtree Creative we're going to create this smart mirror. Hey Siri, set the fountain. Most of this process is based on my sketch. From there, we will be breaking the project up into 4 main pieces. There will be the frame, the PVC texturized panels, the smart elements that also comprise the pump and the lights, and the top and the bottom cap. So with that being said, let's get started. I don't have a dedicated spot for my miter saw yet, so doing it on the ends of these tables will just have to work for now. So here's the finalized frame. In the center here, that's where the mirror goes, and on the left and the right side, that's where the texturized PVC panels go. Let's go ahead and move on to making those. So here is one of the finalized PVC panels with the texture routed out. Now you can't really tell on camera, but if I go ahead and cast some light directionally over the surface, it kind of brings out the texture a little bit more. Now normally this PVC is white, but I went ahead and painted it with a nice blue paint. And to make it a little more waterproof, I used this oil-based urethane just to kind of help it prevent any water from maybe seeping into any of the gaps. Now with the majority of the construction complete and the main panels put in place, we can start to get a good idea of what the final product will look like. The next step is trying to figure out how exactly this will be powered. If we assume power is coming up from the bottom of the piece, the cord will be plugged into this smart outlet here. This smart outlet is connected to this bracket and powers this 12-volt power supply. The 12-volt power supply will be plugged into both of these two 12-volt motors. Now these 12-volt motors are going to be plugged into this clear piping here, which allows the water to be taken from the reservoir on the bottom and pumped up to the top. The tricky part of getting this fountain to work is figuring out how to make the water flow down the surface evenly. If I take this PVC pipe and I connect it to the board behind the mirror and connect the clear tubing to it, then I should be able to get even distribution down the surface. Alright, we finally have the main frame, all the panels, and the water distribution on the top completed and finished and installed and ready for the first test. I was really nervous to see how this goes, so we'll have to see. On the back here there's the smart outlet and it has a button to turn it on manually, so let me just hit that. Got the pumps down there temporarily, flow up the pipes. Alright, perfect. Looks like we have good, even water flow. I had to end up moving the pumps here to the bottom. Turns out these things are really good at pushing water, but they just aren't really good at pulling it. So if I have the reservoir right down here on the bottom on this side, it'll just be as close to the water source as possible, and it can push all the way up to the top. All right, now with this guy complete, tested, and refined, we are ready to move on to those caps. This is a sheet of leftover 3/4 inch maple plywood that I'm going to be using for the top and the bottom caps. Fortunately, there's a website that lets you print off these little templates here. Each center line there tells you exactly where you need to center your saw blade. The nice thing about the website is it lets you put in the thickness of your wood, the width of your saw blade, the radius of the curve. Once you have that done, all you have to do is tape or glue or somehow adhere this to the surface of the wood, and then you just send it to your table saw. Now here you can see I went ahead and set the depth of my saw blade to what I had presetted in the website whenever it generated my template. Just let that dry. Now that I have the top cap done, I just need to go ahead and cut the French cleat down. So I'm going to take this 1x4 and I'm going to square off one of the sides, then I'll measure and trim off the other side to make sure it matches exactly the height it needs to be. And then I'll take a 45-degree angle on my table saw and just rip it right down the middle. Like that. Since the bottom cap will be holding all the water, I went ahead and did this side a little differently than the 45-degree angle on the other side. I did that because I want to be able to fit a sheet of PVC, the leftover stuff from the PVC texturized panels, on the bottom. That way it's a non-water soluble material and I won't risk any water getting soaked into it. Alright, we'll do a little dry fit of the bottom cap. That looks great. All stained, lacquered, and sanded down. I think this is going to turn out nicely. Now with the bottom cap attached, all we have left is this top cap. And this is where the lights are going to go. If you look on these two little platforms here, that's where these two little strips are going to be applied. Once they're on, the cords will feed through to the back of the mirror and down to the LED controller. All things said and done, I would say this fountain project went really well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It responds really quickly from Siri. I can program to turn on and off at certain times of the day. I'm just really excited to have this all finished up and on the wall. Hey guys, one last thing before you go. You see these here? These are all of my sketchbooks. They are absolutely full of ideas of things I would love to share and build with you guys, but I can't do it without your help. If you like this video, you found it interesting or informative, go ahead and like, subscribe, but if you would have done anything differently than I did in this project, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear that. One other way you can help support me is by following the link down in the description to my Patreon page. I have some cool tiers there that lets you get some insider information, even being involved in the brainstorming process for some of my future projects. I also have some links to my social media down there. I'm most active on Instagram, but I'm going to start posting to Facebook and Twitter more regularly. Thanks again, you guys, for sticking around and watching this video. I can't wait to see what else comes out of this channel, and I look forward to building it with you guys.